Nova Scotia Organic to the Land Stories is back. Yes, that is the new name for the channel. As you saw in one of my previous lives, actually, I think that live got deleted. I deleted that live by mistake. Anyways, I'm back. And that is the new name to the channel. Back at 4:43 in the morning. No, it's not even 43. What time is it? 4:41. So 444, 44. Blessings are on the way. Nonetheless, Nova Scotia's Organic to the Land Stories. I had done a video back, well, I was on a live. I did a live. And I had discussed in that live about my thought on changing the name to the channel because the word black and Indian no longer resonated with my spirit. That in my overstanding of what I have come to learn and see, that's not the name that I want for this channel. So this video is going to be introducing the new name, as well as, you know me, I'm always sharing a story, and one that is driven by spirit. So bear in mind with me, because there's a lot of things I want to talk about. And it's nice being back in this format, because I'm going to tell you something. The lives, I'm learning. It's a learning process, and it's another element that I'm putting myself into that I'm not, I'm getting more familiar with. And I want it to be second nature, just like jumping in front of the video or in front of my camera right now and talking. I'd like that comfortability to come with the live. And it is a different element. And as one of my girls had you know, highlighted to me, was the fact that there is a different energy with the lives, because you are dealing with other people's energies. And that is what makes that difference, that, you know, you're dealing with your own energy when you are dropping a video like I am doing right now. So I welcome the challenge that has been presented with that, and as well as the learning that has come with that. So I'm really glad that that's also happening. But I love this. This feels like a one-on-one, and I don't have to worry about what you are saying in the chats or responding. So I just get to talk. But today's video came via a conversation with Spirit, which let me know that, you know what, I'm on my right track. I am on my life's purpose. I'm working within my life's purpose, and that keep doing what I'm doing, because it is resonating with people. That keep going out there, keep being authentic. And that's why, you know, I'm coming to you right now in my night clothes again. And I said, you know what, I didn't want to do that. But you know what? This is it. When the time, I'm in the now. And it's not about my night clothes. It's not about the way I look. Look, I'm here for a way bigger purpose than appealing to your eye. And it won't be me that you are appealing to. It'll be the message of in which I deliver that you will be appealing to. So anyone that can't get past what they are looking at right now, this isn't for you anyways. Because this high vibing family tribe that we got going on over here, we have surpassed all of that. We are into the meat of things over here. And in saying that, I'm going to say we family are at 198 strong. 198 strong. Not just any strong. Chosen. have chosen to come together because we've been realigned together. And that is a beautiful thing, which brings me to a conversation I had with spirituality in herb and crystals. I think it is spirituality in herb. This is the beautiful sister that I was talking to you about, that I said that gal is an animal whisperer. We finally did make contact. We finally had a conversation, which, oh my goodness, it went on for like 2.5 hours. And I'm going to tell you, we didn't skip a beat. And it was just like, listen, I knew when I saw her in the comments, I felt everything and everything about who she was. I knew. And of course, yesterday's conversation confirmed that. You are going to be seeing uh, spirituality in her, because we are actually going to do a show, which is, I just said, you need to be introduced to the world, because your gifts are going to not only resonate with many people, but your story needs to be told. Gifted by spirit, to be able to read the spirit in animals and make that connection. And most of us out there, especially us that are animal lovers and have had animals in our lives, most of our lives, know exactly what I'm talking about. So I got a gem coming for you, and great conversation. But anyways, as I said, today's video being brought to you via that conversation, because it sparked a conversation in me that I wanted to have with you. And that is a conversation about my dog Warrior, whom you do not see because Warrior is no longer with me. In the past, I tried to drop a video which was explaining this, and I took that video down because I don't think that that video served the true essence of the story. And it just really reflected my pain. And this story that I'm about to share goes far beyond my pain. I'm going to tell you how spirit works and has worked in my life in reference to the animals that have come into my life. And Warrior being one of those spirit gifts that came to me upon arriving home back here in Nova Scotia. I just want to take the time to show or share with you that story and how that whole process came about. Prior to arriving in Nova Scotia, and when I was still back in Windsor, but yet knowing that I was coming home and had already been in the process of making the plans, I knew that coming home to Nova Scotia, I wanted to have a dog, because at the time I did not have a dog. And I didn't just want any dog. I'm used to having bigger dogs, or medium size to bigger dogs. It goes with my personality. And for anybody that knows. If you are indeed an animal lover, you know what connects with your spirit. So I went I went through the process of looking to the Humane Society, because that is really where I have found um, some of my spirit dogs. That is where I found them. They were there looking for me just as much as I was looking for them. If it hasn't been through that, it was through someone that, you know what, was letting the animal go because of various reasons, they could not no longer look after the animal, or they just wanted the animal to go to a good home. And so throughout my life, that is how most all of them, except for one, um, came to me. So now getting back to my story, I go through the process of looking, but before I did, I had a vision. I had a vision of what that animal looked like that was coming to me. And part collie, part lab, very much the black with brown into its fur. To make a long story short, I go looking on the Humane Society site. Boom! There it is. Oh my God, that's the same dog that was in my vision. So I had to make a decision: get the dog and bring the dog home. Well, that didn't happen subsequently, as much as I wanted to, because that van that I came home with was no room for a dog of that size. And as you knew from one of my previous videos, we were 8 days out there. So it wasn't just a direct trip home, which, to get from Ontario to here, it's like 24 hours. It was not a 24-hour trip. It was an 8-day trip. So I understand exactly why that didn't work out, because upon coming home, I found what I had saw in my vision, and that was Warrior. And he was far beyond what I could have ever imagined, in terms of a spirit dog. When I met him, it was like he looked at me and said, "There you are. I've been waiting for you." And upon that meeting, the rest was history. So, let me tell you a little bit about Warrior. I know why we were aligned, because he was definitely a dog that could read spirit, and definitely was probably one of my guides that came via his body to help me along my healing journey, and tapped in to what I was tapped into. And what do I mean by that? He was definitely tapped into spirit, because upon many different occasions could he see what was not there. And actually, I'll tell you, would challenge whatever that spirit was that was in front of him at the time. And what do I mean by that? He did not back down. He didn't back down. No, he didn't back down. And I can't, I'll just give you an example of what I mean. I'll give you two examples to share a little bit of Warrior's story, because I think it needs to be told. But, you know, I am downstairs in my basement having a conversation with my niece, and we are talking about my mother, which is my niece's grandmother, and her other grandmother. And Warrior at the time was upstairs here in the living room. And I could hear this barking. Warrior started barking like there was somebody there. And I'm thinking that there's somebody at the door. And we had been deep into this conversation, me and my niece at this time. As I said, talking about my mom and her other grandmother, which I gotta say, they were good friends. The two grandmothers of my nieces, my mother and once again, her other grandmother, were good friends. Deep in this conversation, Warrior starts ferociously barking like there was somebody there. And I'm thinking that there's somebody at the door. So I come upstairs and check there ain't nobody there. But instead he's in front of the Chesterfield having a full-on conversation. And it was just a little bit unsettling, but I know what's happening, because it had not been the first time. We'd had many experiences like that. And I knew intuitively what was happening because I know that my mom had showed up. Now, my mom, not a dog lover, not at all. And in fact, you know what? My mother was probably saying, get down," because that's what she would have been, and also get out. But Warrior, being the type of spirit dog that he was just greeting her, little bit eerie, but nonetheless, you knew exactly what was going on. Another time when this happened, my sister Sue had came home to visit, and we're getting ready for bed. And we had also been in conversation. And I'm in my bedroom, you know what, getting things, you know, pulling down my bed and all of that so that, getting ready to go to bed. And she had been coming out of the bathroom from getting ready for bed. And Warrior all of a sudden gets in front of Susie and starts ferociously barking and up in her face. And I'm in the bedroom, and she says, "Hilda, come get this dog." And I came out, and I knew exactly what was happening. I said, "Mama, she's around you. That's what it is." And I tell you, he's acting like that because you know what? Mama doesn't like dogs, and she's batting at him. So that is, and he's telling you that she's there. So immediately my sister knew what the deal is, but it freaked her out. It freaked her out. And as it would anyone when you see that type of thing happening, like, what's going on with this dog? So nonetheless, to tell you that he could see spirit, that's not counting the many, many times that we would be out walking and that spirit would come to him, and he would be having a either full on conversation, or I'm going to tell you, would not move. He just all of a sudden just would lock up and stay in that space and looking at something that, I couldn't see, but I could feel. So that was Warrior, and a healer in the sense that he could read energy. And he knew if your energy was low. He knew if it was sad. He could feel the pain in you, as well as he could see if you were, uh, vibrating low and low on the deviant side. Could read that spirit and and walk around you if your spirit was like that. Because I had a clown show up one day, and just leave it at that. And clown, and he did not warm to that individual spirit, and nor did I. Our spirit was right on with that one because he was reading what I was reading, and you know what? Neither one of us was letting it in. Blocked it right there. So once again, my protector and my seer and confirmed what I couldn't see in that moment. He did, and I trusted him, and he trusted me. And we would walk around daily having full on conversations with one another because I could read his spirit. And when I tell you full on conversations, I had been talking to this gentleman who Warrior knew was not a good match for me. And who, on a continuum, when I would be talking to this gentleman on the phone, I don't know how many times throughout that conversation, you know what? He would do this one. No! Literally, folk, no! Especially when he started to get inappropriate. To the point of where the individual that I was talking to knew that if we had gotten together, his biggest challenge was going to be him. Him, my warrior. Nonetheless, in moving forward, Warrior was not fixed and would sometimes run. Now, for those of you out there You might say to me, well, why didn't you fix him? Let me back this up. He was not fixed when I got him. He was already 4 years old when I got him. At the time that his running became a massive, major issue, he's going on 8 years old. I am not trying to fix this dog. Number one, let's just put the cost aside, because everyone knows that if I really wanted to make that happen, I would have made that happen. But I don't believe in some of the vaccinations that they want to put into the dog. So I'm just going to be straight. So no, that wasn't happening with me. We never, not one dog fix. We did not have go through any of this process that most of folk go through today. And in fact, in my coming up, we didn't know what dog food was. In fact, the dogs ate of what we ate on a continuum. Healthier dog, too, by the way. Now, for those of you out there that may disagree with that, do you, boo? But up here in the keel, I'm always going to be authentic and do me. So, getting back to my story, him not being fixed would make him wonder sometimes. But he would always come back home. Well, that wandering became something a little bit different when my neighbor down the road decided to breed dogs and let her dog go into heat. And you know what happens when a dog goes into heat? It starts to bleed, the female. And, you know, that male dog can pick up on that scent just like that. So kept ending up in her yard. Ending up in her yard. I go down, get him, or she bring him back. And then most folk would say, put him on a lead. I don't believe in leads either. I don't believe in leads. Why don't I believe in leads? Because, you know, he was brought here to be free. And I know what a lead can do to a dog like Warrior. It destroys the spirit inside of them. And I wasn't fitting to do that. He had ran free. And I'm talking about free on this property. And how in the hell could he do the work that he needed to do? Because, you know, him being a healer was also looking for different souls, which is another thing when we would encounter people. He had the ability to read their soul and bring something out of them. And I could see this. This was far beyond me. And I know what my energy does for different folk. And I know why I am here. Why do you think we were lined up? It took me a second to get to that. And I resisted that in him for the longest time, which started to affect our relationship until we had a conversation. And I told him, I know what your job is. And he kept going to a certain place. And they didn't understand why he was going, but I did. There was somebody there that needed the healing. One place in particular was down at the store. And I said, there's somebody in there. There is somebody in there that needs him. That's why he's going. Anyways, for those that didn't understand it, they didn't understand it. So, Warrior ends up downtown now. He's downtown in the big town of Annapolis. Prior to him getting downtown, him and I had a conversation because I did put him on a lead for a moment, and I've just seen how that was just, it was destroying him and it was destroying me. And I didn't like the friction that had came up in between us. So I said, we're not doing that. However, now listen, you'll need to roll and you'll need to go and you'll need to go find your assignment. This is what's going to happen. You're going to end up getting picked up. And when that happens, I am not going to be able to come and get you. I'm not coming to get you. This is the way that this is going to look. He's looking at me. In acceptance. So, as I said, he ends up downtown. I get this big Facebook message. It was quite a little hoopla, and everybody had an opinion about it. And at that time, I knew the conversation that I'd had with him. And I knew what was about to unfold. But I also knew that I did not give two sweet fucks about what other people were thinking. That this was far beyond anything that was in the confinements of the so-called system that we are living in. That he needs to go to his next assignment. Because you know what? I'm all right. I'm all right now. I don't need you in that same way. And that I needed to learn to stand on my two spiritual legs by myself. And he was of that sort of dog that required to bring the healing to others. As tough as that decision was, it's not one I regret. Because here's what I know. Somewhere out there, he is serving in his full assignment. The lesson in all that, chosen ones, along our path, there will be decisions about the letting go, which will be required for your higher good and the higher good of everything else. And people will not understand because people do not think like you and people don't see what you see. People don't have that higher level of wiredness that you do. That's because they don't have your assignment. You do. I'm here to let you know it's okay. Stand in your power. Stand in your knowing, even when it looks like it's crazy, even when it's going to come with judgment and all of that. And it did. But I just affirmed more and forged more into who I was because I wouldn't look at their judgment, whomever. Nobody knew our story like I did. So if you are facing in your life a life-altering decision, which is requiring you to let go of what no longer is serving you for whatever the reasons, and you know that it's for your greater, higher good, this video is for you. This video is for you because I don't have any regrets. And in fact, what has unfolded in my life after that is number one, knowing I'm able to stand here 10 toes down with my knowing and that I have everything inside me that I need to continue on this journey, continue to fulfill my mission, And what a beautiful mission. I thank Spirit every day. First of all, thank you for seeing in me that I had what it took to do this assignment, because it has not been easy. It did not mean, folks, that you know what, it was an easy decision for me at the time. It did not mean that I did not mourn him and that I don't often think of him when I think, because that was my companion. Everywhere I went, he went. He was my walking companion. And now I walk alone, but I don't walk alone. I never walked alone. And for those of you that know, especially if you're someone new that's coming across the channel, and if you are just new to your awakening, and because we are coming together, and as I said, we're coming together at all different levels, but it's happening faster. It's really happening faster. Powerful, powerful things. And once again, I didn't know how I was going to share this story, but it just flowed. And it's because I was ready. I was ready. And for those that know. And I just want to give a shout out to my spiritual family and my spiritual soul sisters and the new soul sisters and the old soul sisters, and let them know how deeply they are appreciated. I don't need to call you by name. And my new soul sister, spirituality and herb and crystals, my beautiful, beautiful new soul sister that has been waiting for me, who might I add is living in Maryland, but you know what, hails from Louisiana. So she come from some deep root, deep root, deep root, deep root, deep root. Whoo! Organic to the land. We are coming together. Family, there is a movement of change that is happening, and I know you all feel it because this has been a very, very impactful week for, I know, all of us on some level. And if your awareness is there and you're allowing yourself to experience and go through the process, then you know exactly. Because I'm going to tell you something, your girl, who been either sparked with a lot of energy or drained, and you found me ending up right here on the couch. But that's okay. I do what I need to do and remain obedient. I am not going to let this video go too much longer, but before I go, you know what? I want to give a shout out to my new subscribers, because as I said, we are at 98 subscribers. So as I said, I envision us growing beyond what my mind could ever see, because we are here to help with the healing of this planet. So we are being aligned together, having all different attributes to bring to the table. Powerful, powerful, powerful. I feel so blessed. I feel so wealthy. Who beyond? Anyways, Hilda Lynch, that's my sister who is in, oh my goodness, I think maybe Texas or Carolinas. She's in the Carolinas, Southern accent. She's got her own Facebook page, and she's also on YouTube now. So go check out her channel. What I love about her, she brings daily inspiration, and her Facebook page is just filled. And I don't get there as often enough, but Hilda, look, be patient, be patient. But please go check out her YouTube page or channel, Hilda Lynch, and let's support her. Let's go and subscribe and give this sister some support. So Hilda Lynch Shining, I guess. Yeah, Hilda Lynch Shining. And she is at, now can I get this up? Yes, I can. It come right up for me. Okay. It is at Hilda Lynch 3706. That is the name of her channel. Please go check it out. In Shannon, the one and only. Please. And she also has her own channel. And you know what? Let's support this sister. Let's support this sister too. Because you know what, family? That's what this family is about. And in supporting of one another. And you don't realize it, but you know what? That sister that you're supporting, it's creating a rippling effect for your life. So, please do it. And she is at I got my glasses. At Shannon, one and only 3685. Now, I got to get down because I want to continue on. Titan G Gods. And that is at Black, Pink, ET. No, it's not ET. Yes, it's ETO2. I hope I'm seeing that right. Titan G Gods. You are appreciated. Hilda, you're appreciated. Shannon, you're appreciated. And we're growing this family. And then Sparks, another subscriber at Spark Essence. You are appreciated. And we have May Mona M. Panzo. Wow. I'm not sure. I hope I'm saying that. That's May Mona M. Panzo. And that is at May Oma M. Panzo 492. Sean Lynch, you are appreciated. Kim Gregory, you are appreciated. Curran Curry, that's my nephew, you are appreciated. Susan G, the Canadian. Susan G, the Canadian. Susan G, the Canadian. Sandy Slade, that's my girl in Windsor. Go check her out. I'll tell you, she does a lot of, I think it's TikTok. Comedian, funny. Go check her out. I should really actually give it. It's at Sandy Evoy 1. Sandy Evoy 1. Check her out. In NRG underscore C Crunch. NRG underscore Crunch at NRG underscore Crunch. And then we have Sassy Susie. Sassy Sue, actually, at Real Freedom Forever. And that would be my sister, who also, go check out that channel. And Andrew Goodsty at Andrew Goodsty 3814. And I don't know whether he does have his own channel. Go check this out. I haven't checked you out. But now once I get off of here, I am going to check you out because I haven't checked out your channel. But I want to see what you're about because he's got a lot of subscribers. So go check it out. And if you don't go check it out, just go show some support. Listen, that's how we're going to build this. That's how we are going to build this, family. And each one teach one, each one share one. It's a powerful movement. So I am going to leave that right there. So Andrew Goodsty. Andrew Goodsty. I'm going to leave it at Andrew Goodsty. And I am going to leave you on this very early Thursday morning feeling hyped. And yeah, I got to go and do cleaning today. Yeah, I have to clean 2 days this week, and that's okay. You know what? It's all good. I'm looking forward to going out there and getting the body moving and getting the chakras all opened up before I go. So, but before I leave you, I want to leave you with love, peace, healing, and good vibrations. And hopefully you are standing and remaining 10 toes down, knowing who you are. And for those that have to make those tough decisions, listen, my energy to you, you got this. And spirit got you too. And trust me, what it looks like on the other end is something nothing less than amazing. And you don't know what spirit still has yet to unfold for you. So just remain obedient. So, you know how we do it here. And I ain't got that much energy, but we're going to do it. And I don't mean like that. I just mean, we got the power mm, 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 to change things. Mm, 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 mm. We got the power to raise things. We're going to keep raising the vibration. You go and make a great day. But before you do, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. Share this, share it, especially if you think that somebody else can use it. Make a great day.